Today marks the official beginning of our storytelling journey here in Ido-Ile in Ekiti State. Four royal guides, one king, and a market where one of Nigeria's most important foods couldn't be sold. None of that was on my itinerary. I came to Ido-Ile expecting nothing more than a courtesy visit to the palace. Instead, I found myself walking into a story that had been preserved for generations. Before the morning was over, the king would assign 4 respected members of the community to guide us, and every stop would reveal another piece of Ido-Ile's rich history. This wasn't just another travel experience, it became one of the most unforgettable mornings of my journey from Yenagoa to Ekiti. Welcome back to the Yenagoa to Ekiti series. If you watched chapter 1, you will remember our journey from Yenagoa in Bayelsa State to the beautiful community of Ido-Ile in Ekiti State. By the end of that day, we had settled into the community and met some incredible people. But the next morning, everything changed. Hi guys, good morning. So we're about to start for today. We're heading up the streets of Ido-Ile. Let's just take a walk around, and we have a lot to achieve today. The sun had only just risen. The air was cool. The streets were quiet. Unlike the rush of many cities, mornings here unfolded gently. Some people were already heading to their daily activities. Women carried out their daily chores. Children dressed in their school uniforms walked cheerfully to school. There was a calmness that made me slow my pace and simply observe. And that's one of the greatest gifts of traveling, not just visiting new places, but experiencing how people live, work, and begin each new day. Our destination that morning was the palace of the Olojudo of Ido-Ile. Before getting there, we met up with Are, the community's youth leader, who would accompany us. At that point, I genuinely thought we were simply paying a courtesy visit. I had no idea that meeting would shape the rest of our storytelling journey. Beyond paying our respects to the Kabiyesi, the visit is important because traditional rulers are the custodians of history, culture, and identity of a people. And after meeting with the Kabiyesi, we'll be exploring the town with a local guide before returning later this afternoon for a deeper conversation about the history and traditions of Ido-Ile. The closer we got, the more the atmosphere changed. The palace wasn't trying to impress anyone with modern luxury. Instead, it carried something far more valuable: history, tradition, identity. You could immediately tell this wasn't simply where a king lived. It was where generations of culture, leadership, and heritage continued to thrive. One thing I have discovered while traveling across Nigeria is this: hospitality wears different faces. Sometimes it's the food, sometimes it's the conversation, and sometimes it's the respect shown to complete strangers. That morning, we experienced exactly that. Unfortunately, the audio from our conversation inside the king's waiting room was lost. As a filmmaker, moments like that can be heartbreaking, but thankfully, memories don't disappear with missing audio. Soon afterwards, we were invited into the presence of the Kabiyesi. We greeted him respectfully and introduced ourselves. I explained that I had traveled all the way from Bayelsa State because we wanted to tell the story of Ido-Ile through the voices of its own people. The Kabiyesi listened attentively. He acknowledged Tokwe, who although serving his NYSC in Bayelsa under our television station, is proudly from Ido-Ile. Then something happened that completely caught me by surprise. The king instructed 3 of his chiefs to accompany us throughout our visit. Together with Are, our youth leader, we suddenly had 4 official guides. I will be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I looked at Tokwe and we both smiled. At that moment, I knew this was no longer just a visit. It had become a privilege. Because when the custodians of a community choose to tell you their own story, you are no longer just a visitor. You are being welcomed into their history.
Known as Ojudo market.
Okay, Ojudo market. Okay. Our first stop was Oja Olojudo, the King's Market. Over the years, I have learned something about traveling. If you truly want to understand a community, don't begin with the tourist attraction sites. Begin with the markets, because markets tell stories. They reveal what people grow, what families eat, what keeps local economies alive, and what people value most. The moment we entered, one thing immediately caught my attention. Gari. They had lots of gari in the market. One of the chiefs explained that cassava farming is one of the major occupations in Ido-Ile.
The major product of the community is gari.
Okay.
Derived from cassava. That is the major, predominantly, that's what we produce here.
Okay.
So that is where it is being sold after the process.
Families cultivate cassava, process it into gari, feed their households, and sell the surplus to support their livelihoods. Coming from Bayelsa, where cassava is also an important crop, I couldn't help smiling at the similarities between communities separated by hundreds of kilometers. Of course, curiosity took over. I started asking questions. How much does a paint or rubber cost? How much does a basin cost? How much do traders sell on market days and off-market days? To some people, those questions might seem ordinary, but years from now, they will become part of history. That's one of the reasons I love documentaries. They quietly preserve everyday life before it changes.
Okay.
Okay. Good to meet you, ma.
Yes, thank you.
Greetings from Bayelsa State.
You are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something, sir.
Yeah.
You take me go.
I will take you, ma.
We cannot release him.
This time, 400.
400. Okay, 400 for this one. Okay. So this one now is 400. Okay. In our side, we used to buy custard. Yeah, it's this one. This one is even better. This one is even better, so that everybody can afford it. Exactly. Okay, man. Thank you, man. As we continued walking, the market unfolded like pages from a living history book. There were baskets of dried pepper, onions, locally grown rice, beans, traditional herbs, household items carefully arranged. People greeted one another by name. Laughter echoed through the market. No one seemed to be in a hurry. The more I walked through Oja Olojudo, the more I realized something. Markets don't just feed people, they preserve identity. Then something unusual caught my attention. Fresh yams. But something didn't add up. They weren't inside where most of the traders sold in the market. So naturally I asked, why? One of the chiefs smiled before explaining. The community had not yet celebrated its New Yam Festival. Until that ceremony takes place, the new harvest isn't officially welcomed. And because of that, fresh yams cannot be openly sold inside the market.
Issue what? Egbodo. New yam. When it comes out annually, the first time, it is not usually sold in the main market.
Until
some
do the festival and do the prayer, normal prayer to usher in. That's when now everybody now starts buying and exactly. It's the same tradition everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But they just have little change of dates, time, and all those things. But every New Year festival, you must do a prayer before people start.
Exactly.
Wow. So that is similar to where I come from, and also in most parts of Nigeria. Imagine harvesting food, yet allowing culture to decide when it has to be sold. In many places around the world, economics comes first. But here, like most parts of Nigeria, tradition still has the final word. It's moments like this that remind me that culture isn't something you only read about. In communities like Ido-Ile, people still live it every single day. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons I embarked on this journey. Not simply to show beautiful places, but to document living traditions while they are still alive. No doubt, before leaving Ido-Ile, Tokbe and I bought some tubers of yam and a quantity of gari to take home to Bayelsa. Walking around the markets, we saw a variety of items, including farming tools and pesticides. Before leaving the market, we stopped by the palm oil sellers. Bright red bottles were sampled. Beautiful to look at, but behind every bottle was a story. A farmer, a harvester, a processor, a trader hoping today's sales will put food on the table. Sometimes we only notice the products. Travel has taught me to notice the people behind them because they are the heartbeat of every community. So this is one, two. This is 1,000.
This one 700.
700.
800.
700 and 800.
800.
Wow. And this is 4 liters.
5 liters.
5 liters.
How much? 7,000.
7,000. This is 2.5 liters.
35.
But 6,000.
65 from the gallon.
As we left Oja Olojudo, I couldn't help reflecting on everything we had experienced in just a few hours. A royal welcome, 4 official guides, a thriving local economy, living traditions preserved across generations, and a market that offered far more than goods. It offered perspective. That morning reminded me that every community has a story worth telling. The challenge is that too many of those stories remain untold. That's exactly why I am doing this journey. Today is Monday. The next time the market is going to come up again, it's on Friday. And
The next time,
Tuesday, then after Tuesday, Saturday, and that's how it continues.
It keeps rotating.
It keeps rotating every five days. So we've seen the King's Market. We're going to, is it the Osun River?
Osun River.
Okay, so we're going to the Osun River. There's a lot of story behind the Osun River. If you've stayed with me until this point, thank you very much for coming along with me on this journey. And trust me, we're only just getting started. In the next chapter, our real guys takes us beyond the marketplaces to places filled with ancient history, sacred traditions, and breathtaking scenery. We will uncover stories that have been passed down from generation to generation and visit places that left me even with more questions than answers. You definitely don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to Hang Out with Teddy B and share this chapter with someone who loves discovering the rich culture and hidden stories of Nigeria. My name is Teddy B, and remember, every road leads to a story. Every community has a voice. And here on Hang Out with Teddy B, we are making sure those stories are never forgotten. Until the next chapter,